On paper, this looks like a deal. $385,000 and almost 2,000 square feet in Maitland, Florida. But it's been sitting for over 200 days. I walked this house in person, and what's going on here is something buyers miss almost all the time. My name is Ann Boyce, and in 2020, my brother Adam and I started Flock & Company Real Estate. I'm currently a licensed sales real estate broker associate, and when Adam and I first started, we were property investors and analyzed properties all over the greater Orlando area. Now we've turned mostly to the brokerage side of real estate to help people buy and sell houses. By the end of this video, I'm going to show you exactly why this house isn't selling and how to spot properties that look like a deal but actually aren't. This is what buyers usually see online. $385,900, 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,950 square feet, and only $198 per square foot. On Zillow, this looks like value. This is the kind of house people click on late at night thinking they've found a deal. However, I can tell you when you walk in, it's a different story. The main living space is smaller with an awkward layout. There's a doorway to the main hallway to 2 other bedrooms and the bathroom. And then on the other side, there's a doorway to the master bedroom. And if you flip it around, the front door and front of the house window is there, making it difficult to place furniture. And when you first walk in, it doesn't feel like it's 1,950 square feet. It feels smaller. But then you look over and you see the kitchen. And honestly, the kitchen is the best part. They did soft close cabinets with some quartz countertops, you know, the pretty fancy lighting with the backsplash and the open shelving. On the other side of the kitchen is what I would consider the dining room space. It's a longer space, so it might be difficult to fit the table and chairs or to walk around the table and chairs once they're placed in there. And then when you go through the dining room, that's where you go to where the garage is supposed to be, that's converted into what they have as a media room. Now this space is very big, but within this space behind these walls is where the washer and dryer is located, the water heater, the electrical panel. So all the regular things that you would have in a garage are tucked away in this media room. Then the way the photos are laid out, you circle back to the main living room. So again, like I said, the awkward layout, because you can see where the front door is and where the hallways are. The guest bedrooms are fine. The master bedroom is decent size. Has a sort of large closet. It's not a walk-in closet, but it looks like it would store a decent amount of clothes. Into the bathroom, when I looked at it in person, the tile work was done very nicely, but you know, it's a smaller vanity, and this is just from doing a lot of renovation projects. You know, this is basically a stock vanity from Home Depot or Lowe's. So just very basic in the bathroom. And then in the other bathroom, again, they just surrounded the tub with tile. The vanity is only a one thing vanity, and then this thing up here was just really ugly and really awful in my opinion, and I would want to tear it off the wall immediately, but to each their own. Here's what you don't see in the photos. Okay, circling back to the garage conversion, the media room. Behind these 2 doors is basically the rest of the garage. The water heater, the laundry hookup, the Federal Pacific electrical panel. Okay, a Federal Pacific electrical panel will not pass inspection. So a normal buyer cannot buy this property unless they change the electrical panel. It would need to be a cash buyer. The water heater is from 2008. That's nearing the end of life, and it may or may not pass inspection or insurance. You may have insurance issues. Then there's the garage conversion itself. You know, although it looks like it's done nicely from the photos, and you know, from the outside you could tell that this should be a garage and now it has doors. It's not true livable square footage. No permits were actually pulled, which hurts the value. So it hurts the value because it's not a garage and the rest of the majority of the houses in the area have a garage, and it's not true one-to-one appraisal square footage. So they're counting space that doesn't actually add value, and that's where buyers get misled. All right, the location. So this is a corner lot, which can be a plus. It looks like a big, beautiful lot, beautiful front yard. But it's also sitting at a stop sign on a busy road. I spent over an hour in this property at a showing for my buyer. There was noisy traffic. Cars were constantly coming down this road right here to the stop sign. So that's reduced privacy, which makes this house in a less desirable location. So that alone knocks down value compared to other homes in the area. So why hasn't this house sold yet? This house is stuck. There's a combination of problems. No garage hurts traditional buyers. There's unpermitted space, which hurts appraisal and financing. The busy location hurts desirability. And the cosmetic updates, although like I said, the kitchen was done very nicely, just when you walked through the property, you can tell things just felt a little skimpy in certain areas. So it's like trying to sell a fully updated home, but it still has risks of an older one. And not to mention, when I looked it up, the roof was from 2015. So it is, in Florida, that's tough. It's starting to get to end of life. So the sellers on this house need to decide, okay, if I want to sell this house, there are certain things that I need to do to make it marketable to traditional home buyers. Home buyers aren't going to purchase this house if it's a bad buy for them, no matter how much they love the finishes. They need to protect themselves. At $385,000 in this area, buyers have better options. They might not be the same size, but they can get almost a fully renovated home, or at least where the major systems are updated, so that they can actually qualify for the loan. They can get homes with garages. They can get homes that have a little bit more of a functional layout, no electrical, and quieter streets. So when buyers compare, this house loses every time, especially if the seller's not willing to make any concessions, which after being on the market for over 200 days leads me to believe that the seller is not willing to make concessions. So to get this house to sell, it's not just the price. The price either needs to be lowered to factor in replacing the Federal Pacific panel and that there's no garage and that it's on a busy street, or in reality, the panel needs to be replaced. The water heater probably needs to be updated. And if I were the seller, I would get the roof certified showing how much life is left on the roof. That would definitely get the house sold, because right now the price doesn't match reality. If you're buying right now, this is what you need to watch out for. Inflated square footage, updated but not functional, unpermitted additions, which I'm seeing actually on quite a few houses, and location trade-off. The location of Maitland itself is great, but where this house is located on the busy corner is less desirable. Photos don't tell you how a house feels, and that's where most buyers get it wrong. It looks great in pictures, and then when you see it, it's something else. So if you're in the market for buying right now, don't fall for photos like this. Always compare what else you can get at the same price point. I've got another property analysis video queued up for you right here at the end. Or if you're looking to sell your property and you're interested in a property and evaluation, I've got that linked below.